So let's get a demonstration of the castle building portion of this fantasy schema romp. After your character gets a certain amount of money, extra money, and you got the gear you want to start investing your money in a castle, something that's going to terrorize your neighbors, but also stand up to raids. So I'm on SpaceGamer.com here, and I'm just looking at their castle generator, and I'm looking for one that's detailed. This is probably a pretty good one. I could use that. I just need a generic layout, and the site offers thousands of them. I'll find one here in just a second that suits me. This is perfect. It has plenty of different nooks and crannies that I can define my structure, and I'm just going to grab this and use it as a reference. So here's that castle I grabbed off the Space Gamer website, and it's generic enough. I could imagine that this is the stables right here, and I probably will end up building a stable. The horsemen are very good. Most of these castles off the site are going to have, 2 Barbicans on either side. Pretty standard stuff. Normally you could play this using Baronial Lifestyles, which is also available on DriveThru. But here I'm going to just use it as a framework to build my actual keep out of the game. Now, fortresses are going to cost me 50 gold. Oh, I'm just hemorrhaging money left and right. And so it takes me $50 imperial gold pieces to actually clear the land. So it's going to take me 50 imperial gold pieces to clear the land and start my my basic block house to get going. And right now that gives me a keep that has 4d6 of natural defense, and it also has 3d6 subsections. Now I'm going to roll those dice, and you're just going to have to take my word for them out to the side here. Defense of 18, so if anyone comes to attack me, I start with 18 tokens just from the local livery and militia, the Levi peasants. And then, but how many subsections of the keep are there that I can actually build out from? And so I've rolled, great roll too. Boy, the luckiest things I do. I get 15 sections. 15 sections. That is just a few from perfect, because the max you can get is 18. It's a schematic. In other words, I'm just building a model here. I'm not trying to build an architectural digest of the whole thing, but $50 so far I've spent to clear the land, and this is these would be my plans. My plans is I'm going to build a multi-walled castle like this. In a magical world, you're going to need multi-walls because they're going to bring them down as if this was the gunpowder age. And I put the first TBD out there. 14 sections in essence I would have now, since one of them is TBD later. Now I would ask myself, do I want to build an Aviary? Now an Aviary allows me to hire a Fae, some elven fairy type of emissary, and then I can start recruiting demi-humans that can fly. Now, flying troops in a fantasy world, especially in a miniatures world, would be wonderful. And the cost is 25 imperial gold pieces. It's expensive. Maybe I should downsize just a little bit and start with just the basics of some barracks. Now, every barracks I buy for a single imperial gold piece, that would hold 20 footmen. Now, those 20 footmen don't just show up. I have to train those guys. So let me build 2 barracks. So we have the A barracks, which is funny in my opinion, and we got the first barracks. And I'm just going to put these out here. Where would I want the A barracks? I'm going to put the first barracks right here. Maybe I want it in this blockhouse here. Be a good place to put it. And then the A barracks wherever I want. Let me go down a little bit and put the A barracks over here. I'll make them run the other Barbican out of that. And I can recruit up to 20 men for each. So I could have up to 40 footmen in this castle. 40 footmen. Now 40 footmen, well, those 40 footmen could come on my defensive 18 and perhaps slaughter them. But those defensive 18, I can probably get a Fletcher and equip my defense guys with bows. And what would that take? Well, I can go down and I can actually make a range. And a range will cost me 10. So why don't I build a range? And the range will cost me, it's required for me to hire up to 8 Fletchers. The 8 Fletchers will make arrows and counts as 2 sections inside the compound. So I've already spent 2 sections of my for my barracks. So technically I went to 13 sections. We'll do it like this. We'll call it 4 out of 15 that I've actually filled. One TBD, 2 barracks. 3 out of 4. How about if we do our math correctly? And make it a 5 out of 15 because the range is going to count as 2 sections. So Looks like a forge, acts like a forge. Do I want armored men? And how much does that range cost me? That range is going to cost me 10. And besides that 10, I also have the 2 barracks I bought. So I'm up to $62. 62 Imperial gold pieces. If I say dollars, forgive me. I'm just an old guy who knows money. And the $62 I'm spending so far has got me the 2 barracks and a range. And then I also added, I want to add a forge. Now the forge is 20 Imperial gold pieces, and I can hire 5 armors there. And they count as 2 sections as well. The range counts as 2 sections, the forge counts as 2 sections. And you probably want a range, because by getting a range, you can make arrows by the barrel, and those can be, you can turn your defensive Levi into bowmen, you could turn the men you have in your barracks into bowmen. Bowman is another multiplier. You start with a generic guy, and consider him like a single risk piece. But that single risk piece can become 2 or 3, depending upon whether he's attacking or defending. Defending from castle wall, and those things become, that bow becomes triple. That is a lot of extra people you got for a small investment. Range, forge. That forge I said cost me 20. I'm up to, clicking this, I'm up to 82 on building things. I could leave it at that. There's a few interesting things. Do I want a laboratory to get an alchemist who can make me potions? Do I want a stable? Now, stable count as 3 sections, but then a stable, I can start having horses. And if I get horses, I can turn my Levi troops into mounted troops. I could turn my barracks footmen into mounted footmen, and I can also give them bows. I'm starting to look a little bit more like the Ottoman Empire here with their janissary, a cataphract. They're also, you have a forge, and with the forge, I can start making armor. So I can build up my armor, I can build up my range, and I can take those footmen that I'm recruiting and turn them into armored bow. Do I want that mounted bow? Well, let me just save a little money at the point here. So you got gold pieces of so far spent is 22. I got 2 barracks. Do I need anything else here to make this thing fly? Do I need a stable? I decided against it. A hostel. A hostel provides lodging for as many as 3 spies. And each, it acts like a tavern as well for recruiting Die-6 mercenaries. Hospital would be nice. It's not that expensive, and have the opportunity for spies, I think, is good. So let me put a hostel in here. A hostel. You can also then rent it out for slasher movies. And I'm gonna put my little hostel here. And again, you just want graphics that'll, represent your schematic and some colorful faction. And Space Gamer site has that. And that's going to cost me another 2 gold. Another 2 gold pieces. What are they doing? What do they think I'm made of money here? 84. Do I want a dock? A dock would be allow me to hire up to Die-6 captains, and captains can make money for the fort. Curtain wall defenses. If I were to decide this whole wall over here, I might do that. Especially early on. Curtain wall. So if I turn that into a curtain wall, how about a curtain wall? And if I turn that whole thing into curtain wall, I can increase my defenses by 5d6 tokens. And it only cost me, really, half a gold piece. Wow, half a gold piece. Sign me up for 2. So I'm going to have a couple of curtain walls here. And there we go. Curtain wall A and curtain wall B. And each one of those will add 5 d6 for my defenses. Now let me not lose track of my sections here. I had 2 barracks, that's 2. I got a hostel, that's 3. I got my forge, he's going to count as 2, so I'm up to 5. I got my range, 2 more, it's going to be a 7. And then 2 curtain walls. Did I start with the 2 curtain walls? I always confuse myself. 2 curtain walls, 2 barracks, a hostel, a range and a forge, 9. And a TBD. 10 out of 15. I have almost filled all 15 of my sections, but I got a pretty good castle here for a total of 85 Imperial gold pieces. I kept all the numbers in the game probably low and probably more reasonable for what would really be. Now those curtain walls I said are going to add another 5d6 to my natural defenses, so I could roll that, and I could roll. That was a low roll. I don't have enough d6 in front of it, but that helped it. Another 16 from this guy here. I could even annotate that here as a 16 because I might want to tear that one down if it's so inferior to the other one. And this one is going to be a little bit better rolls maybe. No, not a bit. It's only a 14, and probably about an average roll there. And so I have a couple of curtain walls that are going to, if anyone comes and attacks me, I start with a total of 48. That's pretty good. I'll give my Fletchers a place to stay in here. So I'm going to start with 48 defense from all of this curtain walls and defense. That's a lot of risk pieces of me rolling on defense. All I need to do is get that range going and get that forge going, get my armored bowmen on the walls here, and then I can use the hostile to recruit spies as I need them to keep my knowledge of my neighbor on check. Now, there are other things I can build. I can build a tavern to directly recruit mercenaries. I mentioned the aviary earlier for the Fey emissaries. I have not got a blockhouse and a drill yard. Without a blockhouse and a drill yard for that 5 Imperial gold pieces, I cannot hire any sergeants. So let's get back to the money here. Bring this up to 90, because I'm going to need a blockhouse for my sergeants and a drill yard. I can always put that outside and right out here. There you go. So the guys can drill outside. Does the blockhouse and a drill yard, it just so I'm up to 11 sections out of 15. 50 to clear the thing, another 40 for the interior, but this is where it starts to get a little bit more expensive. Now that I have the curtain wall and the forge and the range, and now I would start to hire people, and I would go down the list here of people that I could hire. I don't have a stable. I'm not going to hire any smiths. I didn't get the dock. I did get a forge, and I did not get a college. And so I would take in, there's an example in the book on this as well, and I would go down. The first thing, do I need alchemists? I don't need alchemists. I did not build a laboratory. Do I need armors? Well, I do have a forge, and each week one armor can make one set of armor or half a set for a demi-human. He can also make my ace of a gear. My forge can hire as many as 5 armors. 5 armors, okay. And how many Fletchers can I hire in my range? And my range is going to be 8 Fletchers. Do I need 8 Fletchers? Do I want to hire half of them? I can do that. The blockhouse, 5 sergeants. Do I need any hostile? Do I need any spies to start? No, maybe I need 1. Let's hire 1 spy. And the hostile will allow me to hire as many as 3 spies. I'll hire 1 spy. And now I would add that up. I got 5 armorers, 8 Fletchers, 5 sergeants, and a spy. The total for that is, it's going to be $750, $875, $1875, $19. I need to go into the underworlds and get myself $19, 19 gold pieces per week. And I can make 2 delves, if I need to, into the underworld to raise that money. And I could also, I'll just put that right here, or I could also have other things about my castle that are actually money makers. For instance, I could sell the armor that I'm making. I could sell the barrels of arrows I'm making. I could hire a poet and start featuring gambling tournaments and jousting tournaments. I could hire ship captains that would just bring merchant goods back and forth. I could hire an illustrator, and when he's not busy making scrolls, he could be, or that I'm going to use, he could be making scrolls and copying scrolls that I could sell to the seer, and all that would add up. Now, what would this buy me? So in a single week, I have 5 armors. So at the end of the week, they would make 5 suits of armor, and they would make 8 barrels of arrows, and they would train 5 men. After 1 week, I would have 5 footmen, and I would assign them to a barracks. And I would have 8 barrels of arrows, and I would put them, in like my armory down here. And I would have 5 suits of armor, and I would put those in the armory down here. Now, that's 1 week. So my defenses, with the extra curtain walls of 30 and my 18 there, I also have now 5 footmen that I have recruited. And those 5 footmen can be armored archers. And the difference between having an footman of a single risk piece or an armored bowman of 5 on defense, 3 on raids, is those 5 footmen I recruited in the first week would add another 25 to my defensive capability of this fort. In 1 week, with 5 men, I almost have made my curtain wall obsolete. Now, if you ever build something and decide you want to change it, you would hire an engineer, set him up at a college, and the engineer can then allow you to possibly re-roll your sections, 3 die 6 of sections, God, that's a good roll, and 4 die 6 of defenses, high, but not perfect. I could try re-rolling those and see what I get. I can quickly raise an army here week after week while I'm going into the underworld and making 2 forays down dungeon crawling, trying to get me that 19 bucks, 19 Imperial gold pieces a week to pay for these guys. I'm building up a force, and then I can take those forces on my neighbor and attack them. And again, standard risk rolls. If I go on the attack, I'm rolling 3 dice, and I can continue to roll 3 dice as long as I still have 3 people in my army attacking. And if I'm defending, I'm only rolling 2 dice, but I get to claim ties in my favor. Now, hopefully that was just a little demonstration of how with 90 gold pieces and another 19 gold pieces a week, you can start your castle. And I still haven't filled all the sections if I decided I want to add that luminary or those dock masters. More later.